Hey guys, it's just me. I realised that I hadn't quite finished my coming out story to my dad, and I just discovered the letter that I wrote and gave to him. So I'm gonna read it out to you right now. It'll probably be long, and I'm really sorry for that. I just made it, and it was 14 minutes long, and I'm gonna try and not put it into 2 different videos. So I'm sorry if I am speaking fast, and I hope you understand. Okay, here we go. Dad, I don't really know what to say or how to say it. I've thought of a million different ways to approach this subject, and I think that this is the best one, as it won't end up in an argument, and I will hopefully manage to say almost everything that I need to say without forgetting or getting upset, and I can read over it and make sure everything's here. Writing this letter is really hard for so many reasons. I've tried writing it multiple times, but I can't seem to make sense of what I need to say. I suppose the biggest part of the problem is that I don't know where to start or how to explain what has got me to where I am today. Part of the problem is not knowing how to talk to you specifically, especially about this sort of thing, because every argument we have about it, it programs into my brain as a negative reaction because of the shouting and the crying, and when you say that you've found evidence of lesbianism. Evidence. Evidence is a word used in a murder trial, a negative word. A word to prove that someone has taken someone's life away, or stabbed someone, or set a hotel on fire. Not a word that should be used in connection with love. Everything mixed together just programs it all into my head as a negative reaction, a bad thing that shouldn't be talked about because the reaction isn't going to be hugs and kisses and cupcakes, so I just bury it deeper inside myself. I've been talking to so many people recently, friends and people who've been in and out of my life over the years, and I found that once I began talking, it's almost impossible to stop because I have all this stuff that I really need to talk about that I've kept inside for so many years but was too scared to murmur a word about. At first, I thought I should get things worked out on my own before I came to you with this, but time seems to be running out. I wish I had more answers or any answers at all. I guess the first step to this is to assure you that I am happy and almost completely comfortable with myself. One thing I know is that for me, this is a positive thing, although you and Mum undoubtedly see it as a negative thing. All I will say for now is that this has been a lifelong issue for me. I have looked at it in many ways, examined it in different lights, turned it over several times. I've approached this subject from every possible way, and now I'm tired of backpedaling my way out of this or trying to find an alternative way of dealing with it. I understand that this will be difficult to understand and accept, but I ask you to imagine yourself in my shoes for a day. How hard it is constantly living a lie and leading a double life, and having to watch my back and watch what I say or do, just in case someone overhears or finds out. This isn't my fault or my choice, and I don't understand how any parent can be disappointed or angry. And I'm not saying that you are, I'm just talking in general. With their child for something like this, as it isn't a choice. And when you decide to bring a child into this world, you have to be prepared for anything. And there are no guarantees. You're not guaranteed that your child is going to be smart or it's going to be healthy. You're not guaranteed that child is going to have brown hair. You're not even guaranteed that child is going to be born. The same way that you're not guaranteed that this life is going to be straight. As I write this, I am shaking again like I was last night, as this makes me so scared you just don't even know. This isn't a new thing that has recently popped up. You said yourself that you've been suspicious for 3 years. I never woke up one day and decided to be this way. It wasn't a choice. Yeah, I wouldn't change it for the world because this is who I am, just as much as I am Scottish and just as much as I have blue eyes. I was born this way, with these characteristics. You must have noticed the signs throughout my childhood, and I know that many people at primary school did, and when I was playing football. Even when I was as young as 8, I had all sorts of things shouted at me referring to my sexuality. I was barely old enough to even understand what sexuality was, and I didn't understand. But I knew that I was somewhat different from everyone else. You must have noticed when I was young, always playing with the boys and playing sports and wearing baggy clothes. Although this is more of an indication of gender identity, 80% of gay people, male and female, have experienced some sort of gender mashups in their childhood, i.e. not conforming to their biological gender stereotype. Everyone seemed to know even before I did myself. All the people at Glenburn and Prestwick, even before I knew anything about it or had realised it, there were rumours going about everywhere, and everyone would rush up to me and ask me these questions. It hurt so much when my best friend ran up to me and said, "Lindsay, are you a lesbian? Because if you are, I'll have to stop hanging out with you." Now, at this time, I still hadn't figured anything out. I assumed I was straight because it wasn't something that I looked into. But that hurt so much, knowing that I could lose someone for such a stupid thing as that. This also probably contributed to me writing this letter and telling people once I had figured everything out. I remember I was either 9 or 10, and I was at my mum's in the living room, and someone said to her, "That's going to turn out to be a little dyke." I was 9 years old. I don't understand how someone can say that to a mother about their daughter. That also probably contributed to postponing this as long as possible, along with society's view on this, and when I was 11, I told Mum I was going upstairs to watch a TV show called Sugar Rush that had a gay character in it, and she replied saying, "Okay then, as long as you don't turn into one of them." Turn into one of them. Those words still hurt me to this day, even though Mum insists she never said it. It's something I'll always remember. In one argument we had a while back, you said that you thought that homosexuality was disgusting and unnatural. Now maybe I am biased, but what I'm about to say makes perfect sense to me. I don't understand how something can be unnatural when there are many, many animals who mate with the same sex. And animals are a huge part of nature. There are gay dogs, cats, cows, whales, dolphins, tigers, elephants, and humans. If it's such a huge part of nature, then I don't understand how it is unnatural. I'm sorry if you feel this way and feel that I am disgusting and unnatural, but unfortunately, this is out with my control. There's no point trying to retrace the steps I took throughout my life looking for an answer as to how or why I ended up this way. Believe me, I've tried, and there is no answer. I remember feeling this throughout my childhood, but not knowing what to call it, as these terms weren't available to me. Looking back through notable things that I remembered, the first indication would be when I was either 4 or 5. Clearly I didn't wake up in 1997 and just decide something like this, as I didn't even know that it existed, as I had never seen it around me or even on the TV. I thought that all little girls felt the way that I did, and that I was normal, but we just never talked about it. But it wasn't until they all kept talking about Boyzone and A1 and how they wanted to marry them all that I realised I was different. That maybe I should be feeling something like what they do and want to marry Ronan Keating. But for me, that never ever felt right. Like I said, I knew that I was different, I just didn't know what to call it, so I kept it to myself. I don't really have much time left to write this, and it takes a while to drag out all these things that I've shoved down into little corners inside of me. I never wanted to hurt you or Mum, I never wanted to make you angry or make you disappointed. When she starts to cry and you don't know why, it's because a part of her lives a lie. Those are lyrics from a song, and they seem to fit very well with what I want to say. The days when I'm crying or upset are generally not just in a good mood, and you keep asking me why and you get really angry because I can't tell you. 90% of the time it's because of this. I don't have anyone really to talk to about it, no one that truly understands, and I could never tell you in fear of your reaction. There's not a day goes by without me worrying and constantly thinking of how I'm ever going to manage to tell you this without hurting you or making you angry or something. I hate waking up every day knowing that I'm living a lie. It's horrible. I hate having to hide such a huge part of myself from the people that I love for fear of being judged. I hate having to worry about going out in public. I hate having to worry about going to school. I hate having to worry just going out with my friends in case someone says something or throws something or there's a new rumour going around and I'm involved in it. It's so horrible, especially because I have no control over it. Believe me, I've tried time and time again to make it work, to bury it all inside of me and try and lock it up forever. I tried being with, and then there's a name of one of my exes, and he's an amazing guy, but that was the problem. And it never ever felt right, not for one little minute. As hard as I tried to be normal and what I expected everyone wanted me to be like, it just never worked, and it always felt so wrong and unnatural to me. I'm sorry I didn't tell you this before, it just seemed to make you and Mum so happy to see your little girl being a little girl and dating boys. I was afraid to be anything else. I was so scared that you wouldn't accept me and that you wouldn't love me anymore. So the answer to your question is yes, I'm gay. I hope somehow you manage to understand how hard this is for me and how difficult it's been throughout my life having to hide who I am whilst everyone else gets to live so happily. I really hope you understand because I don't know what to do anymore. I appreciate all you do for me and I know you would do anything for me. I'm sorry. Just remember I'm the same person I've always been and I will always continue to be this person. I love you so much, always have, always will. Lindsay. P.S. Every time you thought I was sleeping around, I wasn't. And every time you think I'm talking to a 48-year-old guy from Newcastle, planning to run away to Venezuela to join the sex trade, I'm not. Okay, maybe you didn't think that, but I'm just letting you know that I have a backbone and I know what's right and wrong. I'm more life smart than anyone I know and I know what to do and what not to do. I know who to go near and who not to. I can take care of myself so you don't have to worry. You've taught me well.